Hey, this is Kyle from the Longbox Cast. I'm sure you've heard my co-host Steve talk about Revenge Lover designs a million times. But now I'm going to mention it for the 1,000,001 time, so stick with me here. If you need a really kick-ass logo, but you don't want to ask your neighbor's kid because you know he's going to do it on PowerPoint or Microsoft Word, then go to RevengeLover.com and tell her Kyle from the Longbox Cast sent you. I guarantee you she'll use Photoshop or Illustrator, one of the professional design programs that graphic designers are supposed to be doing. Seriously, who the hell uses PowerPoint?
Greetings, fellow humans. This is Pat Callahan from All White Tukey. You're listening to another great podcast on the Four Eyed Radio Network. Yeah.
Alright, back for 2016. It's a brand new episode of Not Another B Horrorcast. And of course, this is our first episode back for the new year. And yeah, it's our 10th episode. So yeah, we are officially a podcast according to the interwebs, I guess. I don't know. But of course, I am Steve-O.
And I'm Anna.
And, of course, you can find us at 4iRadio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Zune Marketplace, BlackBerry Podcast, Blueberry Podcast, Mirror Guide, Double Twist, YouTube, Swell Radio, MPlayer FM, and PodcastDirectory.com. Of course, we are brought to you by Revenge Lover Designs, illustrates and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit RevengeLover.com. And, of course, it's the brand new year, so you're all going to want to do some shopping. You go to Amazon.com, but don't go to Amazon.com. Go to the Sasquatch.net, click on the Amazon banner, and shop like you normally do. We'll get a little taste if you do. And, of course, you can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/NotAnotherBHorrorcast. So go ahead and give our Facebook page a like. Get those likes up there, because, of course, once we get to 50 likes, I think we're going to do a contest. And, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at BHorrorcast as well. So I think that covers every one of our little bases so far. And I guess before we dive into all this stuff that's horror-y and new, I don't know. How was everybody's holidays? Anna, what did you do for your 2 weeks off from the network?
I had Christmas and New Year's. No. Well, New Year's I went over to a huge party and got really drunk and fun times.
Classy. And nobody used hashtag movie date with Anna with that entire time, which is weird. So
yeah, apparently nobody cares if I go on a date.
Oh, well, I care. That's my goal this year, to get you to go on strange dates with people on movie dates and then come back and talk about them on the podcast, because I think that'd be great pod.
It would be horrifying for me, I will say that.
That's it. No New Year's resolutions, nothing you want to let the viewers know about, or stuff you plan on you want to do this year. I know the year just started, so.
I do have some New Year's resolutions. I don't know if I necessarily want to bring them up on the podcast, though, because, well, I don't know if I'm actually going to carry out on them. I mean, there's the normal one of actually losing weight and getting in shape and all that.
Well,
kind of shit,
I think it's good to put them out there, because then now the fans kind of hold you accountable. That's what I plan on doing. I plan on letting them know everything. I've already done it on my sister's podcast, letting people know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. And then figured then maybe, people can then other people who follow you on Twitter, or follow you on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, that can be like, oh, are you sticking to your goal? Are you doing this? Are you doing that kind of thing? So
you can call me out on my shit.
Yeah, but obviously no one has yet called anybody out on their shit.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly my goals for the new year are, because some of them are kind of vague, so I'm trying to pinpoint what exactly I want to do. I mean, obviously, the number one for me is getting into shape, but I don't know how exactly I'm going to do that. So we'll figure it out.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have a gym at your apartment complex.
Yeah, but I don't know if I also live not too far from a park. So I don't know if I'm going to go running in the park or if I'm going to like go to the gym
Well,
or
maybe
go swimming.
we can do
or-
this. Maybe you can run in the park, and we'll have somebody wear like a crazy clown outfit to chase
No.
you down in the
No.
park, and then we
No.
can put that on a
No.
YouTube video. And
No.
we can be like, and the entire time when you're running, he'll just shout out, "Is like, are you sticking to your resolutions?"
Yeah, and then I'll be put into the hospital with a busted lung. That's great. So how about
I
you?
thought it was a great idea.
How was your holiday?
My holiday was good. Just hung out with family, friends. Dad's birthday usually during the Christmas season, so all that kind of jazz. And then just the normal New Year's stuff. Go to parties, get drunk, get lucky, the usual. And then come home, and now we're back doing this grind. I have the day off from work while we're recording this. Is where we're recording it, so it's going to be weird coming back to work on Tuesday.
Yeah,
of course,
that
when
should
everyone
be
listens to this, it will be Thursday of this week. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting due to the fact that it's working a 4-day week, then having a full day week next week, and then working another 4-day week because another holiday we get off. So it is going to be pretty horrendous.
So what about your New Year's resolutions? What are they?
My New Year's resolutions is to try to give up smoking. Also try to travel more with the job I have because I can fly for free. Cook more and eat a lot better, and also get back into working out and all that kind of stuff. And Toby's New Year's resolution is to try to figure out how to get to the treats in the kitchen.
I thought his New Year's resolution was to stop being such a pest.
He's a cat, he can't do that. But I
Yeah,
think
good
about
point.
the problem he's going to have soon is I'm going to be watching what I eat, and so I'll be getting him into shape as well. So he's not going to be a happy camper. He has no idea what's going on either.
He's not even paying attention.
No, he's in the kitchen going like, I smell food. Where's the food? Even though you have food in your dish.
Yeah, but that's old food. He wants.
But
bad
yeah,
food.
so I'll figure stuff out. I found some stuff online to hopefully try to get into shape. It's gonna be hard to do because I'm planning on waking up every morning before work early to go do that.
Good luck with that. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it after work, and I'll probably I haven't just figured out if I'm gonna do it in the afternoon right after I get off work, or if I'm gonna like eat first and then do it after that. Because that's what I used to do. Is I used to go running every day around like from 8:30 to 9:30 or like 8 to 10 or just something like that. Basically just get out of the house for an hour or two and run as long as I could, and then kind of just do little spurts in between. And it was great. And it was a lot of fun, but stupid mono. I got mono and I had to stop. So I'm trying to get back into that. It's been like a couple years since I did
So
that.
if you guys want mono, hashtag movie date with Anna.
Well, I don't. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, even if you're not showing the symptoms of mono anymore, you're still a carrier. So technically,
You're not selling yourself. This is why you're
I
going to
know.
die alone.
Probably. Well, yeah, I've already accepted that. That was what. It wasn't really a New Year's resolution. It was more of like a New Year's acceptance of, oh yeah, I'm just gonna die alone, aren't I?
Hashtag movie date with Anna.
And you can listen to me talk about how I'm gonna die alone. It'll be awesome.
It'll be a fun movie date. Yeah, so without further ado, I think that catches everybody up to speed on us. And of course, we're still waiting. I got to actually do another podcast later today that I'm going to be talking to another co-host about what's going on with our Nerd Block sponsor. So we can finally get the ball running on that. But without further ado, we do have some horror movie news. So I'm going to make this a new segment that Anna talks about. Horror movie news. Spooky. We don't have a sound, guys. So.
Sad. The first two stories aren't necessarily about horror movie. Well, one of them is, and one of them was actually happened to a couple. But the first thing is, I guess, Hungarian cinematographer Vilmos Ziegmund. I'm not sure how to say his name. Passed away at age 85. He worked on Psycho, A Go-Go, Deliverance, Ghost in the Darkness, Black Dahlia, and also Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So I guess he passed away.
Oh, really?
On
You're
New
not gonna
Year's
you're not
Day.
you're not even gonna talk about the other movie that everyone found horrific as well,
Huh?
Jersey Girl. He worked on that.
Didn't mention
Sorry,
that he
Kevin
worked on
Smith.
Jersey Girl. But yeah, I found that he passed away, so I wanted to,
Give him a shout out.
yeah.
So he's the first death of 2016, or did he die before?
He died on New Year's Day.
Okay, so
So
he's the
I would
first.
say he's probably the first or one of the first of 2016. So sad day. Second thing I wanted to cover was, I guess I saw this story and I was shocked that it happened. There was this couple that was on a Carnival Ecstasy cruise, and
They have those.
yes,
That's what it's actually called, the Carnival Ecstasy Cruise.
correct.
Okay, anyway.
Oh, actually, it was a Carnival cruise, and I guess the ship name was probably Ecstasy. But it was on Sunday evening. They approached an elevator that clearly had blood not dripping, but pouring out of the top of the elevator.
Ooh.
And the doors to the elevator were struggling to open and close due to the amount of blood. I guess a crew member or somebody was inside behind that wall when the elevator came down, and I don't know what. Whenever the elevator came down, so I guess they got squished, and then yeah, and then a
Dang.
couple walked up and saw the elevator like literally pouring blood from the top of it. Although I guess the Carnival Cruise Lines offered to pay for the couple to attend up to 3 counseling sessions in light of the traumatizing incident. Because, 3 counseling sessions will totally cover seeing someone's blood pouring from the top
Hey,
of
you
an
know what?
elevator
I know
shaft.
it works. I know it works when people come back from war too. Like it's usually like the 3 hour,
Yeah,
three
it only takes
hour sessions. It's easy
4
to
tops.
it's easy to fix those kind of problems in slow sessions. It's not like a process you need to do like, I don't know, for years maybe to cure somebody of these horrific outcomes. But
I can't even imagine. Like,
okay,
you
so
go
we
on
need to-
vacation and you see somebody die, and they're like, "We'll pay for 3 of your counseling sessions."
I've been
So
like,
fuck
you better
you.
throw in some shrimp with that. Fuck. Or at least a free drink ticket, something.
Yeah, I would say free drinks for life and at least one other free cruise line, as well as 10 counseling sessions.
Okay, so what you just said is actually real news, real creepy news that happened. I think we need to tweak. I was unprepared for this, that's why I did the announcement when I did it. But we'll need to retweak some of our stuff in the oncoming year because we're just going to design the show how we want to design because we don't get any input from fans. So I think we'll do horror movie news. And then we'll also do actual, weird stuff of the week or, incidents that are going on that are kind of either paranormal or
horror
murders
news
or...
of the week.
Not
Well, not
because
necessarily
horror
horror,
news
but-
of the week to me would be the movies that are coming out and everything like that. This, we'll come up with a thing for it. Don't just,
Real life horror.
Don't
I don't
just start spitting out stuff, okay?
Why not? You do it all the time.
I know you do it all the time on hashtag Anna Movie Dates. Oh.
I don't spit. Anyways,
That's not what the last guy said.
who was the last guy? You know what? I don't want to know.
Anyway, so
next up, I guess I mentioned this to you, but I guess they were going to do a Halloween Returns movie that was going to start right after Halloween 2, and basically would have followed the events of Halloween 2 and just taken out all of the other ridiculous movies in between. But it looks like Dimension Films lost the film rights or the franchise rights. So, yeah, they're gonna have community star Gillian Jacobs for the lead role, and then I don't know if they lost it because of the time frame or if it was just too expensive or what. That doesn't tell me, but looks like we're not going to get another Halloween movie anytime soon. So, sorry, Michael Myers fans.
yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they waited how long since the last one? I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah, whatever the Rob Zombie remake was.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that kind of rebooted the franchise, but I don't know if that killed the franchise.
It might have. Also, I guess there's an upcoming movie. I didn't even hear about this. But there's an upcoming movie, a horror movie called Cherry Tree. And it looked kind of interesting. It's basically this girl, Faith. I'll just read the synopsis. It says, Faith's world is turned upside down after she finds out her beloved father is dying. When the mysteriously alluring Sissy Young becomes the village's newest inhabitant, Faith finds a compassionate spirit and much needed mother figure. Little does she know that Sissy is the head of a centuries-old witches' coven that uses the fruit of an ancient cherry tree in a secret ritual that restores life to the dead and dying. Offering to cure her father in exchange for a child, Sissy strikes a bargain with Faith, who suddenly finds herself pregnant with a baby that's growing at an alarming rate. But with the clock to the child's birth ticking down and the true intention of Sissy's plans for humanity becoming more apparent, Faith and her father must stand together in order to save both their lives. So it's just literally like witch gets some chick pregnant, and then she has to figure out how to stop the witch who's probably going to end humanity as we all know it.
Interesting. So is this a period piece horror movie? Does it take place at olden times, or is this like an updated something we all have to deal with and it's happening in real time horror movie, or what?
Oh shit, I just lost it. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it back up.
There we go. I found the news, what it's going to be called. So,
Say what?
I found the segment and what we're going to call it for news.
Oh, sweet.
So, boom. See, let me do the work, and you just sit there and be pretty.
I don't know if I'm very good at that. No. Okay, so found it. Give me more information. I don't know if it's going to give me... I don't think it's going to give me any more information, and it doesn't really... I would think that it's modern day.
Okay, just wasn't sure if there was an actual... sometimes they do that where it's all like...
Well, there's a trailer for it. Yep, it's modern day. Definitely modern day. Yeah. Anyways, I have one more little thing. It's just the upcoming movies that are coming out in February of 2016.
Before you jump into that, I will say this: what was just released or is coming out this week on Blu-ray, DVD, and everything that is the Visit, the Midnight Shyamalama Ding Dong movie that came out during the summer, I think maybe. Maybe
that
in August,
everyone loves so much.
that everyone really loved, and then one person I know on a podcast I was doing did not like it. Then he told me the plot twist. I'm like, well, that's kind of fucking stupid, because they didn't really explain anything else. So most likely we'll probably be watching that in the near future and talking about yay on it or no on it. Should Midnight Shyamalama Ding Dong even be trusted with a camera ever again, or should he just go back and pretend and live with his daughters and go, I thought Avatar was a great movie I made? Airbender,
even though he completely ruined it.
Anyways, so what is coming out in the month of February? Nothing's coming out in January, though, right?
There are 2 movies that are coming out in January.
Okay, so we'll go with the January movies, and then we'll hit the February movies.
Okay, so January, I'm sure people have heard about this a little bit already. We've mentioned it before. The Forest is coming out. Just to cover it, there's a girl whose twin sister commits suicide or disappears in the quote-unquote suicide forest in Japan. So she goes and tries to find her sister, and because she knows that there's something wrong, etc., etc. And that comes out on January 8th. Oh, so it comes out pretty soon.
So it comes out this week, I think.
Yeah, comes out this week.
So this coming Friday, I believe. So we are definitely also going to try to, like we did with Krampus, is try to watch newer horror movies and give you guys reviews on that.
I don't know if we're going to go see The Forest, but I do want to go see this one. It's called The Boy.
Well, I want to see The Forest, so fuck you. Fine, I'll go find a new co-host.
Okay, fine then.
I found 1,000,000 of them at a party
I was
going to
say, since there was 2 horror movies coming out in January, I didn't know if you just wanted to pick one of the 2, or if you wanted to try to see both of them.
I want to see both of them.
I forgot. I got those 2 free movie passes, so we can go use those to see either The Forest or The Boy.
Well, we can go see The Boy, because that does look interesting as well.
Yeah, and it comes out on January 22nd, and basically, I know we've talked about this we did a little blurb about it for a while ago, but it's about this girl named Greta, who's actually Lauren Cohen from The Walking Dead. She's a young American woman looking to escape her troubled past, and she gets a job in England as a nanny for a rich couple's 8-year-old son. And whenever she shows up, she finds out that the 8-year-old son is actually a doll, and that she has a bunch of strict rules that she has to follow. But whenever she breaks one of the rules, then
don't feed it after midnight, never get the doll wet, you can't expose the doll to sunlight, stuff like that.
I think that's Gremlins.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the boy.
Okay, whatever.
I mean, if I go into that movie and I don't see any of that, I'm going to be very disappointed. It's already going to get like a negative 8,000.
You're like, it's not Gremlins? Fuck this movie.
Yeah, it's not Gremlins. Fuck this movie. Maybe that should be my rating system.
Is this Gremlins? No? Well, fuck this movie.
This movie fucking sucks.
But yeah, whenever she breaks one of the rules, then the doll disappears and it reappears in different places in the house in different positions, and she's just kind of trying to
that just
figure out
sounds
what's
dirty.
going on.
If you break a rule, the doll just disappears, reappears in different positions.
What is ass happening here?
She's like, look, first off, I'm not Jared, so I don't care. Second of all, too soon, 2016. So okay, does it tell you a little bit of the rules? I know one of the rules was one of the rules was weird. According to the commercial, I don't know if this is like an actual rule or they're just like how they do promos and stuff like that. But one of the rules was that they're like, don't turn your back. I'm like, what? Then how the fuck am I supposed to go anywhere in this house? Like, fuck that rule. That'd be like, don't blink or stop breathing or.
It doesn't look like they have any rules or like any of the rules listed.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if it was going to give you any of those.
I mean, the slogan of the movie is, "If you love him, he will love you back." But
gross. That's not always true, people. Men, if you could love somebody, and that woman will never love you back. So stop stalking her. Go home.
Okay, well, I was hoping this was just going to give me horror movies, but it's not, because...
Well, I did find this. I don't know if we're going to get a synopsis with these or whatnot, but I did find the IMDb page of movies that will be coming out within the next couple of months. Well, I mean, I have the movies, but I can't tell if they're horror movies or not, because I was looking and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and then it had Deadpool. I was like, that's not a horror movie. Okay, well, I did this. I did upcoming horror movies, 2016, 2017, and beyond. I just did IMDb. Basically, I went online, just typed in upcoming horror movies for the year, and this link basically saved because I did it for last year when we were doing the podcast and had all the stuff with everything else. So what you can do then is you go to IMDb, then you can click on the link, and it'll pull up the actual movie and give you a little synopsis. So the next movie, I don't know if you saw this one, if this is what you're talking about, it's called Viral. It's coming out in February 19th of 2016, following the outbreak of a virus that wipes out the majority of humanity population. A young woman documents her family's new life in quarantine and tries to protect her infected sister. It's going to be the next upcoming one. Then there's The Witch that comes out on February 26th. This film looks like it's going to be rated R, which is kind of nice to finally see one of those. This just says a family in 1630s New England is torn apart by the forces of witchcraft, black magic, and possession. So that comes out in February as well.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just basically so far what it looks like. We have 2 movies coming out in January and 2 movies coming out in February, and then it looks like 2 movies coming out in March. I figure I'll probably just do up to March to get people a thing, and then we could probably then put these into our notes of going like this movie is coming out this week kind of thing. But what were you going to ask about The Witch?
Oh, I was just also going to add, it looks like there's also Pride and Prejudice and Zombies coming out. I don't know if that necessarily qualifies as a horror movie, but it does look interesting.
I would say it does. When is that coming out?
That comes out February 5th.
Oh, okay. So IMDb did not have all the listings. So IMDb, you fucking
Yes, and then
cock.
also, there's Viral February 19th, The Witch February 26th, The Other Side of the Door, which is also February 26th.
Okay, we need to definitely research some of these then, because this is saying The Other Side of the Door is coming out on March 11th.
Yeah, this one says February 26th, so we can figure out which one is correct. But this synopsis just says, "Kiss your sweet dreams goodbye." This Johannes Roberts film follows a grieving mother who uses an ancient ritual to say goodbye to her late son, upsetting the delicate balance of life and death. So that sounds interesting. Oh, and this is what I got excited about. I know this is jumping forward a little far, but and on April 15th, so I'm going to see this movie for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out with Amityville: The Awakening. So-
You also have another movie that's coming out on the 15th as well called The Green Room.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah, that was on here. Then also, according in May, it looks like there's a movie called The Darkness. Apparently, also in June, we're getting The Conjuring 2 finally.
And in May, we're getting Friday the 13th again.
Mm.
It's directed by David Bruckner.
All right, so we'll see how that one goes. And then, of course, there looks like on July 1st, there's The Purge 3, another Lights Out movie, and The Man in the Dark. That's all that's listed on IMDb right now. We'll try to keep you guys posted and some of that. But, of course, like I said, on January 5th comes out The Visit. The Green Inferno also comes out on January 5th. Never got a chance to see that. Sinister 2, this is all Blu-ray and DVD releases. Sinister 2 comes out January 12th. Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension comes out on January 12th. Then we have Howl that comes out on January 12th. This one I'm looking forward to and did not get a chance to see, so we'll definitely put this in our runner-up of watch movies that we're going to review is Goosebumps is coming out on January 12th.
Yes.
I want to definitely see that. The Intruders, January 15th.
Can you check and see when Crimson Peak comes
I
out?
just was about to read that out.
Oh, sweet.
Crimson Peak will come out on January 26th.
That was one that I really wanted to see that I didn't get a chance to see.
Yeah, I did not get to see that. Then we have He Never Died, February 2nd. Home Invasion, February 1st. The Vial, February 2nd. Southbound, February 9th. The Hollow, to be decided. Victor Frankenstein is also one that I wanted to see as well. Will be decided, and same with Krampus will to be decided.
Oh, right, because Victor Frankenstein is the one with
Professor X and
yes.
Harry Potter.
Yes, that. I was trying to think of their actual names without.
I only know
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. I do not know Professor X's name. I've seen him in a bunch of shit.
I know. I'm trying to remember what his name is, but I can't.
So usually we really jumped around. Usually we do those the stuff that's coming out at the end of the show, but we decided to jump the gun here and do all that kind of stuff. So do we have any more movie news, or now what it's going to be called the news segment, which we'll try to find stuff for, is eerie news of the week.
Actually, I was gonna ask. It's still related to movie news. Do you know if Insidious 3 is out on DVD? I'm sure it's been out for a little while. But...
I think it came. Yeah, actually, that thing came into theaters and went. I don't even remember. I remember the trailer popping up on stuff. I don't remember anybody talking about it.
In the middle, in like the summer of last year.
It did or whatnot, and I think I remember seeing it on the shelf when I was looking for Gremlins. I saw it like, oh, Insidious 3 came out. Oh, okay. Like, where was this in theaters? So that's another movie. Actually, I don't think we talked about those movies yet. We talked about no, we haven't yet.
No,
so,
I haven't.
I remember watching both of them. Pretty good movies. Owlman's in it, so that's cool. And
I think the first one's probably creepier than the second one for me, at least.
Well, the second one gets really creepy. Okay, spoilers here, so we're going to dive into this. The second one gets really creepy, just the fact that you think it's a woman, and then you find it's a fucked up dude ghost, like
yeah,
dressed
that's
as
true.
a woman.
That was kind of creepy.
That one was pretty fucking crazy. Like the other one just kind of dealt with like a demon kind of thing almost.
Which I thought was really creepy.
But I thought the fucked up ghost man woman thing that was like, my mother made me do this. It's like, fuck you. Get your fucking life together, bro. And then it's weird. It's like I don't understand this concept. I don't know if it's happened to like things in the past or whatnot, but like these people get treated poorly by their parents and stuff like that, but yet they become successful. Like the guy became like a doctor or whatnot, and that's how he was able to get rid of like through his murders because he was able to cover up shit. But it's like, hey, you went through schooling just fine. You're able to get your degree and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just weird.
Daniel Tosh is the one who said it best. He's like, because you want to hit your kid hard enough that they give you the Thriller album, but not hard enough to where he fucks children.
Yeah, you can never vary the...
Yeah, he's like, I could never figure out that line. Was that too hard? I'm not sure if that was too hard.
But yeah, so I guess if that wraps up all the horror movie news of the week so far, like we said, we're going to try to not only give you horror movie news, but like I said, the new segment is going to be called Eerie News, whether it's just, lights in the sky or alien abductions or weird, creepy things in the woods, or like you found with the Carnival Cruise where somebody died. And blood dripping from the elevators, so just stuff like that.
Not even just dripping; it was straight pouring.
Pouring rain.
Yes, they basically said it was like The Shining.
Rain. Not really. It was more like blood rain, but not like what's a good horror movie too is also Purple Rain by Prince.
Never seen it.
It's a joke. It's not a horror film.
I still haven't
Flipping
seen it.
table, giving you the finger,
Well, I
walking
figured
out.
it wasn't actually a horror movie. You were just being facetious, but I still haven't seen it or even know what you're referencing. My apologies. So,
And then also we are still waiting for listeners to send us stories. We'll come up with a segment for that, but listeners creeps or creepy listeners or something. I don't know. I haven't thought that through. But anyway, so on to the movie review that we spoke last year that we're going to talk about is the original Friday the 13th. Like I said, if you have a Hulu account, pretty much all the Jason movies up until I think 10 and Freddy vs. Jason of the originals are not on Hulu, so you can watch from 1 through 9, I believe, are on Hulu right now. So we ended up checking out Friday the 13th, 1980. This movie was released on May 9th of 1980. It's a horror mystery movie. I'll give you the synopsis. A group of camp counselors is stalked and murdered by an unknown assailant while trying to reopen a summer camp which years before was the site of a child's drowning. It was directed by Sean S. Cunningham. Writers were Victor Miller, Sean S. Cunningham, and stars Bestie Palmer, Andrea King, Jenny Taylor, and also, of course, Kevin Bacon was in the movie. So not only did Johnny Depp
Sexy
get
man.
killed by Freddy Krueger,
oh yeah.
Jason, well, I'm not going to give the spoilers out. I mean, the movie has been out for a while, so if you don't know who actually the killer is in Friday the 13th...
You probably want to turn it off now because we're about to spoil
Yeah,
it.
we're about to spoil it. But Kevin Bacon was murdered by, quote-unquote,
Someone. We'll just say it's someone.
who is part of the Voorhees family.
I wasn't even going to give away that much. Thanks a
Fuck
lot.
him, who cares? The movie's been out for a fucking while, okay? People, get off your dick trains and listen. What I was going to say, though, now I want the movie where they had Freddy versus Jason. Why don't they have Bacon versus Depp? Or they get together and they do like a tag team match against the people who sent them to hell.
Bacon Depp.
Bacon Depp.
Sounds kind of delicious, actually.
Fred Jason. Fred Asen. Fred Asen versus...
Frayson
versus Bacon Depp. So anyway, so this is the first time I've seen this movie since, I want to say, high school. When did you ever see this movie, or was this the first time you were watching it?
I saw it once whenever I was babysitting next door.
Even though that's Halloween theme, but
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's the right
no, the
one.
Jason one is the...
Oh, yeah.
I dropped my keys. Cha, cha, cha. Oh, here they are. Cha,
I gotta go take a shower.
cha, cha.
But yeah, I have a shit ton of notes, and some of them, some of my comments or notes
Well,
I might have to just read out loud because I'm trying to figure out what the hell I was
And
talking
that's
about.
fine, and we'll get into that. But what I was saying, so this is you revisiting this movie.
Mm-hmm.
How does it hold up from the first time you saw it?
It really didn't creep me out the first time, so this time around, it was just more of remembering the random details in the middle and like how like certain people got where they were whenever they got killed or
Mhm.
whenever certain people showed up. So
Okay, and that's basically like I'm trying to do a new like how to review these movies and stuff like that before we jump into details and everything like that. So yeah, I remember seeing this when I was back as a teenager. Pretty good movie when I remember seeing it as a teenager, going like, oh, okay, this is an interesting concept. Why people, I think, in the 80s were freaked out by it, I mean, of course, today's standards, like watching it again today, this was a lot tamer than a lot of the movies that are out right now, and especially a lot of the movies that are PG
yeah.
right now. Because honestly, halfway through this movie, a lot of the deaths you did not see, and when you did see them, they weren't really anything too graphic.
It wasn't really that gory or graphic. It just kind of showed the person's face with their mouth hanging open.
Yeah, something like that, and maybe like a little bit of like blood for the whatever they were at or whatnot. So of course, like we said, so a bunch of camp counselors are going to fix up this old camp called Crystal Lake. Apparently, Crystal Lake has had a couple of problems in the past. In the beginning of the movie, you can see that two people are about to fornicate in the 80s.
Yeah, they go off and make out, and they get killed by some random person.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're like, wait, I didn't know, stop, and then it's like, Friday the 13th, with the really cool shattering the glass, and all this great epicness, and you're just all like, okay. So then it starts off with some random stuff in the movie. I don't know why they put that in there, because there's a part where the girl is walking in a town, and the town looks deserted, by the way. She is walking in this town, runs into a dog, and she's all like, hey, doggy, do you know how to get to Crystal Lake? And I'm like, okay. But then a few minutes later, she is walking into a diner asking that same question to actual people. So to have her talking to a
the
dog
dog
was fucking... Did you need to make up 5 minutes?
Yes.
Because the movie was 95 minutes. I'm like, was there time constraint? They're like, well, if we don't get to 95 minutes, we have to release this on VHS or beta. You know, like, I just didn't
Why do they
understand.
sound like an old crotchety guy?
Because it's old movie
Yeah, good
producers. That's how
point.
not enough dogs in movies these days.
Well, I literally, like, putting in the comments, like, whenever I was writing the comments in here, I wrote, you find out the girl's name is Annie, and she gets a ride from a fat guy in a diner, and then there's a creepy old guy that comes up to her and tells her she isn't coming back, and I literally put in the comments, touched her ass, because, like, the fat guy that was helping her into the truck, whenever he was helping her, like, step in, he touched her ass, and, like, I was like, okay.
It's a different age, man. It was a different age in the 80s, man.
Oh, yeah, and then, like...
Look, I was just helping. Like, now you do that. Now you try to help a girl into a truck like that, and you accidentally touch her ass, like you weren't planning on touching her ass, because you're like, you get turned around, and it's like, rape.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, oh
Back-
my God, you perv!
Back
He's
in the
like,
80s, she'd be like, oh, fat guy's groping me. At least this is some action I'm getting this weekend.
Yeah, now it's like, you touched my butt, you perv! And the guy's like, you grabbed my hand and made you touch your ass. I don't understand.
Actually, what was really interesting about this movie is they set up with this girl right off the bat.
Yeah, that really surprised me.
I would say this. So it was a really good twist because I remember like revisiting this movie, going like, oh, okay, and then you kind of forget stuff, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's right, she is not the main heroine in this movie.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I didn't even, like, think, like, I was thinking that I was like, oh yeah, she's the one who's gonna live, blah, blah, blah. And, like,
Yeah.
they really did a good job of, like, making you really guess of who's gonna live and who's gonna die.
Yeah, they did a good job with that one. Of course, I think anybody who was a virgin lived in the movie.
I don't know if she's a virgin or not, but
Yeah, she
I
was.
do have
'cause
in the comments Kevin Bacon shirtless, so if you want to see Kevin Bacon shirtless, you watch this movie.
We will have
Not
to
too
do.
bad.
I gotta find other like horror movies now with bacon in it to do a month of bacon, basically, because there's Tremors, there's Stir of Echoes. So
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
I just call it Bacon Bits. This month on None Another Be Horrorcast, Bacon Bits hashtag.
And you actually get to see his bacon ass.
But yeah, that'd be really great to have Bacon Bits. And then if he could Skype in, I know he won't, but that'd be great. He'd be like, you really called it fucking Bacon Bits. I'd be like, I did bacon. I did bacon. Speaking of which, I want to cook up some bacon now.
Right.
Actually, that would be a horrible eating habit. Is cooking up some bacon and then watching Friday the 13th, and every time bacon is on screen, you have to eat bacon.
Oh, man.
A lot of fat kids have that. I would call it a drinking game, but
It's more of a who can have a heart attack first
Yeah.
game.
Bacon.
Or you can just cook bacon and then sprinkle it, or like crunch it up and sprinkle it on top of popcorn.
Or you could do bacon shots, where you do the same thing. You put little bacon bits in your shots and go.
Oh, there
I know
you
they
go.
throw bacon in some Bloody Marys and stuff like that. Oh, there you go. Bloody Marys with bacon in it for Friday the 13th drinking game. And since they're Bloody Marys, bloody like the movie, so I just have to call
Every
it...
time you see any blood, you have to take a...
No, every time you see bacon, you have to take a drink.
What if you don't like Bloody Marys?
Doesn't matter. Then don't play this drinking game. Come up with your own drinking game. Come with your own bacon bits. Me and bacon are out of here.
But I like bacon. You can leave. Just leave the bacon.
No, bacon's coming with me.
Oh, yeah, and there was an otter in this movie.
Oh, yeah, random otter. He was the killer. Anyway, so Yeah. So then you go to the camp where everyone shows up. Bacon Bits and his crew, his best friend, I'm guessing, and his girlfriend at the time. Yeah, it's like the Potato Head kids or whatnot. It's the Bacon Bits kids,
Oh yeah, and then of course there's the token establishing shot where they show the little sign that says Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, Camp Crystal Lake, which again, I was like, that's where they're going. Like, I don't
Really? I had no idea this was gonna happen.
Then they show up there and they meet the guy who's been trying to put together the camp. And right off the bat, he seemed pretty cool, but then it got really creepy really fast with the girl who was with him. He's like, stay.
Yeah, he's like hitting on this chick with a bowl cut that's like painting or something.
And I would say the guy's probably about 30, maybe close to 40.
Yeah.
I would say 35 to 40 is his age range, I'm guessing, because I'm like, obviously you've been established by putting up this camp for quite some time, so you had to be around for a while. I'm going to say the kids are probably like 18 to 19 maybe, because they're supposed to be depicted as pretty young counselors.
Were they even that old? Because I thought that she was talking about how she wanted to go to college.
Oh yeah, 18.
So,
maybe she just left. High
yeah,
school.
maybe.
I don't know.
Like she's barely 18 and she's got this 40-year-old creepy ass like
It's like, hey, stay.
dude hitting on her with those creepy. It's the fucking shorts. The
Yeah, the
creepy,
80s shorts,
yeah.
which I don't understand.
Ugh.
Okay, so the 80s short shorts were great when you were a little kid, because you would run around and that's how you play ball and everything like that, because you didn't need these long. Then the trends changed. Then you got these sagging shorts and all this kind of stuff. But then people were trying to bring back these short shorts again, and not even like clearly short shorts. These were like these weird like mid-cap, like they're skinny short shorts. It was like the weirdest combination.
It's like they took skinny jeans and cut them.
Yeah, and it's just stupid
like
and dumb, and
stringy
anybody who wears
ugh.
that should be murdered by a crazy person in the woods with a knife. That's all I'm saying, kids. Don't wear the emo short shorts.
Yeah. It's
No, the
just-
hipster short shorts now. I forgot. Emo kids. Okay, this is what I learned. The trends, we're getting off topic here, but I don't care. The trends are like Pokemon. The kids just keep evolving into other stuff. But instead of in
It's the
Pokemon,
same people though.
but instead of in Pokemon where they're supposed to evolve into something awesome and better, and you're like, this is stronger and faster. No, they just get more wussy and crappier and shittier. We had emo kids, and then they've morphed into hipster kids. Now
and
emo,
it's the same kid.
it's the same kid. And what I hate though is like they morph into hipster kids, and now they just are all like, instead of being all like, everything's depressing, my life is over, swing hair. It's more of like, oh, that's ironic. Everything you do is ironic. I'm wearing this T-shirt because I'm ironic. Me kicking your ass, is that ironic? Is that what that is?
I think
Because
that
I thought it was just me beating the crap out of you.
nobody knows what ironic means anymore. They're like, I'm wearing this ironically. I'm
No,
like,
you're wearing it because you're a dick. Bacon Bits, get over it. We're kicking this guy's ass. That's what I think. If there's a hipster on there, that's what I want. I want, again, off topic, I want like a magic flute that Link has where he blows it in The Legend of Zelda and a tornado comes by and transports you to stuff. I want a flute or a whistle that I blow, and Kevin Bacon just chums down and we just beat the crap out of hipsters.
it's a bacon flute. We need a bacon flute.
We need the bacon flute. And that'd be great. And you know what? Fuck it. This is a new show on IFC now. Beating ass with bacon.
Yes! I love it. We need this show now. We really do.
And then and he'll have great stupid lines when he shows up. He's like, oh, you're gonna end up crunchy like me. And he's like, boom, and breaks a bone. And he's all like, oh, snap, crackle, pop. Just shit like that. I just wrote like an entire new stuff for all
and you
of
can
Bacon.
have guest stars like Dwayne Johnson show up and be like, your world's about to get rocked.
Yeah, no, not like that. But anybody can show up because it's all 90 degrees to bacon. Beating ass with bacon this year on IFC.
I think you should just call it bacon flute.
No, I don't want bacon. I like beating ass with bacon.
All right.
See, this is your problem. I come up with something, it's golden. You're like, no, I think you should change it. This is why I came up with all the stuff on the show.
Anyways.
Hashtag movie date with Anna.
Hashtag Stephen Mooney's a dick.
Everybody already knows that.
I know.
Tell them
excitingly.
something they don't know. So anyways, yeah, so then he's all like, I gotta leave and get supplies. So he basically just like abandons. This is another thing. again, common sense glands are removed in horror films. I know I've talked about this before, but still, nobody else is on the premise of an adult figure or anything. They just leave a bunch of teenagers, a bunch of horny teenagers, might I add, just in this campground. I'll be back. It'll only take an hour. Bullshit, it already took an hour. This guy was out the entire day. They cut to him later, and he's just eating shit at a diner. Like
They really didn't specify like where he was going, why he was going there, like what he needed, anything.
These kids just met you, and this is crazy. You just left them at your fucking cabin, and then ate at a diner.
Guy, maybe. I don't know.
What the? Yeah. So again, common sense glands fucking removed. So then the kids are there, and then shit starts getting weird.
And it's chilly.
Like,
in here.
well, yeah, because it gets hot in here. Anyways, with all this equipment, studios heat up. Anyways, so so that happens, and then the kids start goofing off, having fun, even though they have to build stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, this weird component comes up where all of a sudden they're like, well, where's so-and-so? She's supposed to be a great cook and everything like that. And literally...
Well, actually, before that happens, I thought it was interesting, like, they have, like, after the retard leaves, to go do whatever the hell he's doing and pretend like he's not responsible for like 10 kids.
Mm-hmm.
They have this little like foreshadowing scene where this kid is like, this girl's on the shooting range and she's like setting up the archery stuff for everything, and I don't remember who.
Oh yeah, I think it was Kevin Bacon's friend, one of the Bacon Bits buddies. Yes, Bacon Bit buddies. That's what I'm calling them now.
Yes, the Bacon Bit buddy almost shot her with an arrow, and she gets really pissed off.
She's like, "Are you crazy?" And he's like, "I got a penis."
Yeah, it's he almost shoots Kevin Bacon's girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah. So there's all that kind of stuff. But then, of course, after they leave, there's a cop that shows up randomly, who does not know how to ride a motorcycle. Which you can clearly see in the movie when he's trying to leave.
Awesome.
Where you're like, he is gonna fucking. I'm like, I wonder how many takes this was.
Right, and you can see like the ground is all torn up around there. You're
and he's like, but you can literally see him like he's like, I gotta turn this thing. Like, he shows up and starts giving the kids the business. You know, like most 80 cops do. Like, you guys smoking reefer, drinking out here? What's going on?
Yeah. What I loved about that scene is he literally went through like the different names of weed. He's like, weed, pot, Mary Jane, MJ, and like we're just like, what the fuck? Like, he just starts reefer, like just lifting like every name of it, and like, yeah, because it's not like they don't know what it is from the first time you said it.
Then they talked about this. He's like the crazy guy who was in the town beforehand, who's saying, "You're all doomed. You're all gonna die." He pops out of nowhere at the campground. Which I think is hilarious because he just starts ranting about something. He just hops on his bike and just rides away, and you never see this character ever again.
Nope. It's just another one of those things. Oh, my brother just had a name for it last night, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's like one of these things that, like, it's not necessary to the story at all, but it's still, like, part of the, like, it supposedly drives the storyline, but it doesn't really have any real significance. I can't remember what he called it.
Pointless
anyways,
plot twists.
Yeah, pointless shit. Well, it's exactly like pointless shit, as in Kevin Bacon's girlfriend, or Kevin Bacon's friend is in love with Kevin Bacon's girlfriend.
Actually, it's supposed to be a misdirection, I think it is, because basically then you're thinking, oh, it could be this guy. This guy's crazy. He's already foreshadowing the, like, you kids are all going to die out here and stuff like that. It's like a magician where they go, like, it's just a sleight of hand, like, hey, look it over here, and then really they're stuffing birds in their shirt over here, but you can't see because he's like, doodle-ba-ba-doo-boo-ba-dee-la-ba-doo-la-ba, and you're like, what the fuck's going on with his hand? And then birds shoot out, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, even though there's a guy off to the side just handing him a shit ton of birds when you're not paying attention. So that was just to misdirect the viewers.
Got it.
You know, to be like, here's this character. He seems crazy. He's probably the one that's killing kids because he's already talked about how the place was cursed. He already talked about how, you know, bad stuff happens. He talks about, like, just meeting people. It's like, you're gonna die. So you're thinking, like, you've probably done this before. Now, after all that kind of shit goes down, it kind of sets the mood, we realize that they're like, hey, where's the chef? And you're like, who the fuck's a chef? Oh, right, that's the girl from the beginning. And the girl gets out of one guy's trailer for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's because Camp Crystal Lake was off, like, down a dirt road, and he was going a different direction, so he took her as far as, like, the jumping off point for her.
Yeah, so then she starts walking down to the road, and then this car comes by, and she's like, hey, can you take...
The thing that was a huge misdirection for me was why I didn't realize that she was gonna die immediately is because it's the same Jeep as the guy who bought Crystal Lake. Like they drive the same Jeep.
Yes.
So
the Jeep comes by, she gets in, she starts talking, and then all of a sudden things starts getting weird, and you never see. This is what they did a really good job with this movie. You never see the killer until towards the end of the movie. So everything is basically it kind of makes you feel like you're killing these kids. Which by the end of it, I wish I did.
Yeah, because it shows it for the most part from the killer's perspective whenever they're killing. So
it's kind of like Jaws, where you don't see the killer, even though you kind of figure it's a shark in the water. I mean, that would have been a blown away thing, like at the end of Jaws when the shark probably pops out and it's just some big fat guy who's just been murdering people in the ocean.
With the fin on his back.
Yeah, just like they just did that, and the guy's like, "What the fuck?
What the hell?
Jaws, the real version." See, I'm just writing comedy gold with everything. I improved P2 with Bill Cosby. Just put him in the movie.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. So they did a great job of that. And then, of course, all of a sudden, the woman's like, "I gotta get out of here," and she jumps out of the Jeep after a confrontation with this mysterious figure. And right off the bat, it was like, "Oh crap, shit, she's getting away." But then it's like he hunts her down into the woods and then kills her, and you're like, "Oh shit, this is not the main." Person in the movie.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, she's gonna get away because she got out of the car, and nope.
No, she got killed. So,
although it did kind of suck a little bit because it immediately it shows her getting her throat slit, and then right whenever her throat starts bleeding, it's and next scene. You're like, oh.
Yeah, they really did that. So then, of course, because we don't want to have to go through every single scene and stuff like that. We're just trying to hit on plot points and then get to what reviews that people gave it and what review we're going to give it. So, of course, so that's the first, I believe, death in the movie, and then it starts trailing on to the other kids start getting murdered on the campus. Now, some of them, it was weird, because a lot of them, they got killed, and then you didn't really see it. Like, Kevin Bacon's friend, I believe, is the next one to die. He sees somebody in a mysterious, house.
He sees somebody in one of the cabins. He goes in, and then it's just
And then that's
gone.
it. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Bacon has sex with his girlfriend, and then all of a sudden, above their bunk is his buddy's dead body, and you're like, oh, shit. And then, of course, she leaves to go shower or something, and then Kevin Bacon gets it right in the throat with an arrow. That was probably the only really gruesome thing they showed in this movie, and that's not even that gruesome. It was pretty, it's good effects at the time and stuff like that, but it wasn't anything like, oh my god. But yeah, he just kind of basically got stabbed in the throat and kind of pretty much choked on his own blood at that point, at that kind of thing. Then, of course, I think there was who's next? It's the girl who hears the child screaming help.
Let's see. Okay, the next one is Kevin Bacon's girlfriend. She goes into the bathroom to use the restroom.
Oh, that's right.
And then she hears or she sees the shower curtain move, and she thinks it's her friend, so she goes over there and she gets an axe in the head.
Yeah, axe in the face, bitch just got an axe in the... You know what he said afterwards? He's like, can I ask you a question? Bacon bits.
Yeah. And it turns out it's actually Kevin Bacon killing everyone, and that his death was actually just a fake. No.
Wow, that would have been a twist.
Right? It would have been a...
Friday the 3rd Bacon. What?
Turns out it's a bacon zombie. I really want a bacon zombie movie. But then after that, then it cuts to, I guess the other camp counselors were playing Strip Monopoly, which I didn't
Strip Monopoly. Oh, you know what's funny? Okay, so Strip Monopoly, everyone's going Strip Monopoly, Yeah, I thought Friends did that in an episode, so technically they got it from...
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, because they were trying to play a board game. I know Joey wanted to do Strip Poker in an episode, and then I don't know if it was Monopoly, but it was a board game or something like that, but they did make it a Strip board game. So the origins of the Strip board game, to my knowledge right now, has been Friday the 13th from 1980, unless there was something before that had Strip something, not poker, but a board game, which now just makes you want to play weird Strip games of really weird board games. I have to go through and find something that's very trouble. You know what the longest
Strip Life.
Actually, no. The longest game of Strip anything would be fucking Risk.
Strip Risk. Ooh, Strip Settlers of Catan. Actually, I don't know how you could do that.
No one knows how anybody can do anything. But go ahead. Who's the
sorry,
next
it kind
death?
of got stuck in my head. Let's see. So then one of the girls who's doing the playing the Strip Monopoly game ends up going out to brush her teeth, and she She sees she hears a noise, but she leaves the bathroom anyways. Then she's getting ready for bed, and she hears something, so she goes outside.
Yeah,
ends
she
up on the
hears-
archery range.
Well,
and-
before that, it was just weird. Okay, so when we finally reveal who the killer is in this, but of course you hear like this child going like, "Help me, help me!"
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
the woods, and you're just all like, first off, again, if you ever hear a child screaming in the woods, now let me set the. It's at night, screaming in the woods, like, "Help
It's
me,
pouring
help me!"
rain
It's
outside.
pouring rain. Fuck that kid.
Right? So she runs outside with a flashlight. She's trying to find this kid, and she's like stumbling around the woods. She somehow ends up on the archery range, and the floodlights get turned on, and she's like, what the hell? And then it cuts to Alice playing a guitar,
Yeah.
which is one of the stupidest cuts I've ever seen. I'm like, okay, first of all, fuck this.
Let me
Se-
tell you a story about people in the woods who are dying. People in the woods who are
Yeah,
dying.
I don't even remember what she was playing, but I was like, this is a
Everybody
terrible
knows
song.
that
Nobody gives a
Kevin
fuck.
Bacon died. He's the only guy who ever got a job after this. Yeah.
So then I guess the other dude, the dude that was playing Strip Monopoly, burst into the cabin that the chick, with the bull haircut, Alice, she's playing the guitar. So then they go to, because he can't find anyone, they go to the cabin where Kevin Bacon and his girlfriend were having sex, and they find, they go to the cabin where the girl who was on the archery range, they go to her cabin.
Yeah, they
find
go to
an
her
axe in
cabin.
her bed.
They found an axe in her bed. They noticed the candles were still lit. That was the other thing. That's the other thing about this movie. All the bodies.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was going to bring up. Is then they go to Kevin Bacon's cabin, and there's no blood. It's completely empty. There's like no indication anywhere of him being stabbed in the throat, of his friend being on the top bunk, like bleeding down onto him. Like there's
Yeah,
nothing.
so this guy, I'm starting to believe that Friday the 13th was just Dexter. He just knew how to clean up everything.
Right?
You know?
This is the beginning of Dexter.
Dexter. Yeah, then he, what's his face?
Then they go to the bathroom and check the bathroom, and that's empty, even though that was where the chick got the axe in the head. There's no blood anywhere. They go to the office and break the window to get in. The phone is dead. Then it cuts to the owner, and he ends up walking.
Yeah, he's
through
just
the
at a
woods.
diner and getting hit on by a really not attractive waitress.
Yeah, a really fat chick. But then
I
his
just said unattractive, and you just really had to call her out on it.
well, she was a fat chick.
Hey, you want another piece of pie? Oh, you're gonna create with that pie. Some bacon. I'll give her some of that
Bacon pecan pie.
Oh, I'm gonna kill all your kids. What? I said, you have another slice of pie on me, honey.
But anyways, his car won't start because it's a Ford.
Actually, I thought it was just a Jeep. That's the other thing I don't get. He has an off-road vehicle. No. His car starts. His car starts and able to leave the diner. He's driving a Jeep. This is a vehicle that is made for this type of weather that is going out right now. It is raining. He is in the woods. He's got the 4x4. He knows exactly what he's doing. And then he goes, my car just died in the middle of the road for no reason.
Yeah, I'm like...
The lights were still on, so it wasn't the battery.
Yeah, and he was like trying to turn the key, and the car was cranking, but it wouldn't start. I'm like, okay, in order for it to do that, you'd have to turn your car off. And then it'd be like, oh, my car won't turn back up.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking retarded are you
don't
to
know
pull
why-
over onto the side of the road, turn
During
off
a
your car,
rainstorm, yeah.
Yeah, and then try to turn it back
So
on.
then
like-
helpful sheriff comes and picks him up and then drops him off at the Crystal Lake area. And then, of course, he runs into the opposed killer, who you don't see again. And he's all like, but he knows the person. He's like, oh, hi, how are you? What are you doing out here?
He's like, what are you doing out here? And dead.
And he's like, no, Bacon Man!
Yep, that was exactly how he died.
Yeah.
Um,
Then Guitar Boy dies in the...
generator room
Generator
because
room.
the killer turned off the generator. Alice freaks out, and she basically she's trying to find Bill because she doesn't know what happened. She finds the body
Then she starts finding everybody's body, basically. Like Bill's body is like on a door. The one guy, the guy who owns the camp, like he just falls from like a raptor or something like that.
Yeah, and then she goes and hides out in the kitchen, and then the body of the chick who shot on the archery range gets just thrown through the window.
Through the window.
Like what the fuck?
Then a car pulls up. She goes running outside and realizes it's a woman we have not seen at all in this entire movie. Here comes the twist. Then she's all like, "Oh, don't worry, honey, I'll help you." And then she starts telling the story that this woman did not ask.
Yeah, she starts talking about her son. Or it wasn't even her. She didn't even say that it was her son at first. She was talking about a little boy, and these two counselors went off and started having sex instead of paying attention to the little boy.
And he wasn't a good swimmer. He was not a good swimmer. He should have had bacon bits, but he didn't. He didn't have little bacon floaties to help him swim. Why is everything revolving around bacon?
Because Kevin Bacon's in this movie, bitches. Get real. Yeah, and then you find out that she is the mother of Jason. And this is when it gets like, it's a cool twist in the movie when it happens. But then you realize how poorly everything happens, because the girl is trying to escape from her, and she's able to knock the woman down. She's able to push her over. She's
knock
able to knock her out. But she doesn't want, like, this woman is trying to kill you.
Instead of doing the double tap, you just run away and cry like a little bitch.
So there's a whole ordeal where they're running around the camp, and she keeps running into her, and she keeps throwing her down and running away. Then finally, like, the last segment is like, she thinks she kills her. She runs out to the water. She's just, all of a sudden, instead of trying to escape, she just falls to her knees. It's like, it's over. And then, of course, Jason's mother comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. But...
runs at her. She drops the machete she had. She takes the machete, shuts off the woman's head. And then
well, first she hits her in the head with a frying pan, which
that's what I'm saying.
I don't remember where
like,
she got the frying pan from, but then she, like, chops off her head with a machete, pushes the boat into the middle of the water.
And just hangs out there.
Yeah, and it was really confusing because, like, from one shot to the next, she kept having an oar, not having an oar, having an oar, not having an oar. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And then the cops show up the next morning. She's out on the boat, all like, yay, hey, I'm saved. And then this was a really cool thing. Then all of a sudden, this creepy-ass kid jumps out of the water and grabs her and pulls her in. And then it ends, but it doesn't end. Then she wakes up in the hospital, talking about a kid, and it just kind of leaves you hanging like, oh, is there going to be a sequel kind of thing? So that was the original Friday the 13th. Like, when it came out in 1980, it did really well. I think it made over its budget. It was a very low budget film, but it did a pretty good job. Now, I will go with the rating system for IMDb. Gave it a 6.5 out of 694 users and 291 critics. Then we'll check out Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what they gave it. Bacon bits, banana. I know this is Halloween theme, but I don't care. I'm just waiting for someone to actually tweet me and just be like, why are you throwing out this shit? Rotten Tomato gave it, they gave it a 58%. The audience gave it a 61%.
Sounds about right.
Which is sad because it just pulls up another movie. So, Rotten Tomatoes gave this 85%. Fantastic Four got 9%.
Rotten Tomatoes gave
Fantastic Four 9%. They gave this movie 58%. So that's already saying that they like this movie over that movie. Fuck, they like this movie over the movie Pan, for crying out loud. So that's their reviews. Now we'll talk about our reviews. So this review is actually going to be measured by, you guessed it, bacon. So Anna, after seeing it, after rewatching this movie, after seeing it and for not seeing it for a long, long time, does the movie hold up?
Well, from what I remember, it wasn't that great of a movie in the first place. Although it was worse than I remembered, so I'll say it doesn't really hold up to what I remembered, because although the ending was still creepy as hell. So the ending was really one of the only good parts about that movie. I mean, obviously it's an 80s movie and it's not going to be that great, and that's whenever like the slasher movies first started coming out, so they're still like testing out things and trying to find their footing basically, but still, like, if I had to give a rating, I would say like maybe 2.5, 3 out of 5. really wasn't that great of a movie, and it really wasn't gory at all.
No, it wasn't that gory of a movie, but let's see. When I watched it when I was probably, I think, teenage-wise, I think it was probably 13, 14. Yeah, it had its, like, okay, this is good, interesting with them. Good plot twist, because I didn't know it was coming again. We didn't have the internet back then, so it's not like you could be like...
Yeah, it was a good plot twist.
So you're like, okay, interesting. So that rewatching it now, I could see, let's do I never saw the remake of Friday the 13th, but I'm like, let's do a new one. Let's do something with this. Let's, there's so many ways you can go with it. I mean, Jason Voorhees is a great character to begin with. He's just this powerhouse of whatever not, and just traumatized. But yeah, so I give this probably 2 out of 5 bacons. It's okay. It's still a fun movie to watch and go back to. You can see where a lot of people took stuff from. I think actually one of the greatest Easter eggs in the movie Scream is the fact that when he's asking the girl questions about horror movies, this one does come up, and he says, who was the killer in Friday the 13th? She goes, Jason, and he goes, no, that's incorrect. It was actually Mrs. Voorhees, Jason's mother, and he ends up killing her boyfriend because of the wrong answer, which you're kind of like, oh, you know, it kind of pays to learn stuff, kids. Don't get your boyfriend shanked in the pool yard if you don't know who fucking was the original killer in Friday the 13th.
Yeah, maybe if you say it's your favorite movie, you know your shit. Right?
Yeah, know your shit, you fucking hipster bastards. Not all the people that listen to our stuff, just hipster in general.
Yeah.
Fucking
Fuck the
can't stand.
hipsters.
Fuck them and their stupid mustaches.
And their terrible beards.
Yeah.
They ruined beards for me now. It's
So
awful.
yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap up this episode of Not Another B Horrorcast. I think the next movie we're gonna review is another '80s classic, which actually I think had a little bit more uniqueness to it than the Friday the 13th, but Child's Play. We'll talk about next week. So if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and find down a copy of that. I don't know if it's on Netflix. I know Curse of Chucky is on Netflix right now, but the original Child's Play is a very interesting movie, and we actually found out a couple of cool things about that, which we'll tease about next week. The actor who played Chucky, what he actually moved on to, and still is doing the voice of Chucky. So it is very kind of unique when I found that out, and I was like, oh shit, didn't even think of that. So that will be next week's movie. So it's great to be back for the new year. Like we said, we're going to try to boost up the show a little bit, not only talk about movie reviews, movie horror news, but eerie news of the week I think would be a good segment to do. Also, if you kids have your spooky stories, you want to tweet us over on the Twitter or send us a message on the Facebook page or whatnot, or even if you find just interesting stories you want to send us, and we'll post them on the Not Another B Horrorcast website or Facebook page as well, and everything like that. But I think
if
it's
you want to send us over news stories, so then I don't have to do as much research every
you
week.
don't do any. You did research 20
I
minutes
know.
before we did the show.
I know.
You
And
had
I'm
2
still able
weeks
to
off.
find 5 things.
2 weeks off. I'm the one who has to put together how many shows, so shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
I just did.
Why? That's
Oh,
not very nice.
easy and fun. And Bacon Bits said it to be. So, kids, remember to cook up some bacon. Do a Bloody Mary shots during
Oh,
your
hell yeah.
thing of Bacon Bits marathons or whatnot. And I'm thinking of a Bacon Bits month. There'll be a Bacon Bits month, and we're going to talk about horror movies that Kevin Bacon have been in, and we'll just do a whole month of that and stuff like that. But like I said, different stuff will be coming up. So yeah, so next week will definitely be Friday, not Friday the 13th, but Child's Play. And I think that's going to wrap up the show. Of course, like we said, find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter. And I think that's all I have to add. Anna, do you have anything to add before we close out the show?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
All right, kids, remember to get your Bacon Bits up and running and bacon. I don't know. That's all I got. Anna?
Carpe Noctem.
This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com. You got a busted lip with my bacon bits, bitch!